It's Tuesday, September 22nd, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. The vacancy, which will be left by Gline Clarke in St. George North when he demits office as Member of Parliament, will open opportunities for the Democratic Labour Party and other political parties. That's the view of political scientist Dr. Christina Hines, who believes Clarke's absence will give not only the DLP but the People's Party for Democracy, along with the other parties, a small chance to win a seat in Parliament whenever that by-election is called. Dr. Hines told Barbados Today while St. George North was a BLP stronghold, there was still a possibility of an upset.
I think it does provide an opportunity for the Democratic Labour Party to see if it can get someone into the Parliament and challenge the PDP to be the opposition party in the Parliament. I think that is quite interesting. I also think it may be interesting to see if the PDP itself decides to run a candidate in that area. So it does open some intriguing possibilities. For me, it's quite interesting as a political analyst. I am very curious to see who each of these parties will run as the candidates. I'm also interested to see if the Solutions Barbados, as well as I'm not called an Orangeman, UPP, yes, if they will attempt to run candidates in that area. So I am quite interested to see what will happen. I think it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for the Democratic Labour Party to try and regain some kind of hold in Parliament. It also presents opportunities for these other minor parties that do not have a mass base to see if they can successfully win a seat.
However, fellow political scientist Peter Wickham told Barbados Today there was a very small possibility the BLP would lose the by-election. He said in the 2018 general election, Clarke received 81% of the votes, while DLP candidate Jepta Ince only got 13%. Despite this, he said both the PDP and the DLP would have to put forward candidates if they wish to be taken seriously.
I don't really know that it will have a huge impact on the politics of the Barbados Labour Party. We will have a by-election, and it will be by-election that I think we're almost certain that the Barbados Labour Party would win. The Prime Minister has several options now. She has options in terms of the alternative candidate that she can place there and the type of candidate that she wants to see elected. And one assumes that a victory in that will give her some level of political cushion and reassurance that the decisions that she's been taking so far at the halfway mark are the correct decisions. I think, however, the issue is different for the opposition Democratic Labour Party and certainly the PDP. The PDP will have to field a candidate if they're serious about being presented as an opposition, and the extent to which that candidate is successful, I think it will reflect heavily on whether the PDP is making an impact. Then we have a Democratic Labour Party. It also has to field a candidate. Its last candidate in that constituency didn't even get 800 votes compared to several thousand that the Barbados Labour Party's candidate gets. It is an awesome task now for a party that is essentially apparently without a leader and is looking for a new direction in terms of leadership shortly.
Now, at least 4 of the country's opposition parties are oiling their political machinery and gearing up for battle ahead of the impending by-election in St. George North. Solutions Barbados's leader Grenville Phillips III and Ambrose Grosvenor of the United Progressive Party have already declared their intention to contest the seat, while the DLP and the PDP say they were not surprised by Sunday's announcement. Opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley revealed that 2 members of his PDP are interested in contesting the soon-to-be vacant seat.
I'm not going to divulge the names today, obviously, but there are 2 gentlemen who and they're both from St. George North community. They've been doing some work there. They first indicated their interest over a year ago. So the party is cover that. I can tell you as well that the PDP is not. The PDP anticipated that there would have been some by-election activity in St. George North. They've anticipated that for a while now. I can tell you further that the PDP would not be surprised if there is at least one other by-election. And in fact, we have not ruled out the possibility of a very early general election.
Bishop Atherley was also of the view that Clarke, who did not receive a ministerial portfolio, was being forced out of Parliament earlier than he intended.
We're saying also that we believe that Gline Clarke is being forced out of Parliament earlier than he intended. We cannot say for sure what is the leverage being used against him, and we would not engage in speculation and rumor. But we believe he's being forced out. It seems strikingly strange that a man who has served the constituency for 26 years would just give the constituents a week's notice that he was bringing that representation to an end.
In a brief response, DLP President Verla de Pisa also indicated that the developments were no surprise and stressed the party would be ready.
We were predicting a few by-elections and observing activity in certain areas, including St. George North. The Democratic Labour Party therefore will ready ourselves for the upcoming battle.
Meanwhile, Gline Clarke's decision to retire from political office after 26 years of representation appears to have taken very few in the constituency by surprise, and constituents, particularly from his community of Newberry and surrounding areas, have hailed the BLP MP for his remarkable service. However, on the streets, it has been equally rampant with speculation about who his replacement will be.
It's a decision that he has to make, and whatever decision Glenn made, we stand by it. We stand by it, you understand? So it's okay with me. He used to be in Canada before, and he came back here and he won, and because he ran and he was elected and everything, and to be honest, Glenn has been good to the people in St. George now. Honestly, whoever, like I say, whoever come, I will support. But my heart, and who I would really love it to be, is Kevin Rowe, because he's a Newberry man. Gline is a Newberry man. So I got back Kevin Rowe. It's not that if the West Command can support, if they win over Kevin, I won't support. But Kevin is the person that I would like to win it.
Get representation, people get work.
Problems where we live, we line and whatever, you help me.
You do what you have to do.
Women, even getting children.
Gline Clarke.
But
I mean, he left and he left in just about 7 days. It was the developments that we heard about yesterday came kind of suddenly.
No, it came suddenly to you, but it was expected ever since.
Why is that?
May you remember Reginald Farley, the head of the Senate, as a political man, as obvious as Gline Clarke thing, because I expect that Senator Tony Moore to run to this seat.
Wait, what is that?
What was that? Many call it for chosen. I believe that Senator Tony Moore should show the belt and get the seat.
Long time coming, we all know that he was going to step down. We was expecting for the last elections, but through me the warranty, he hang on again. But he has personal reasons why he's doing what he's doing, and he said that he would be standing down, but he do another term that we didn't expect, because we always expecting this.
So you're not disappointed? You wouldn't say you're disappointed by his decision halfway through the term to just stand
No, because we always knew that he wasn't going to run for last time, but then he came back and he ran, so we knew that this was going to happen. So we got two young boys out here, Paul Benjamin, and we got Rowe. What Rowe son? What were you family? Kevin Rowe. Two good youths, well known, and from the top of North St. George to the south of North St. George, well known youngsters, the young too. They got good head on the body. But I know she can sing, but we got good people.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, over 80 inmates at the Lusignan prison in Guyana test positive for COVID-19. Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana tells us more.
The prison director, Gladwin Samuels, has confirmed that over 80 inmates have indeed tested positive for COVID-19. The results were received over the weekend, and the prison authorities have been busy trying to put systems in place to house the positive cases in a separate facility. The over 80 positive cases are in addition to the first 2 cases that were recorded at the cramped jailhouse last week. Those first 2 cases triggered the decision to do widespread testing at the prison. News Source understands that a decision has been taken to have the inmates isolated at a government facility just outside of Georgetown under heavy security. Initially, there was a plan to have the COVID-19 positive inmates housed on the main tarmac of the national park. But that plan fell through after senior security officials raised concerns about the security in that area. On Saturday morning, tents and fencing were being placed for the move to the national park. But by Saturday afternoon, everything was dismantled and the plan was shelved. The positive cases have since been moved to the secured facility outside of Georgetown, where the prisoners are now on the Heavy Joint Services Guard.
And finally, rescuers were scrambling on Tuesday to save 270 whales stranded off the coast of the Australian island of Tasmania. About a third of the animals had already died, and there were fears that more are dying following the mass stranding. More in this Reuters TV report.
Scientists in Australia faced a race against time Monday to save a massive pod of pilot whales stranded on a remote coastline. Officials believe around 270 of the animals are stranded in shallow water in Macquarie Heads, Tasmania. Rescuers were working out a rescue strategy Monday. They believe 25 of the whales have already died so far. Moving the animals won't be a simple task. Pilot whales can grow 7 meters long and can weigh up to 3 tons. Whale beachings are not uncommon in the area, but a mass stranding of this size has not been seen off the coast of Tasmania since 2009. It's not known why whales, which travel together in pods, sometimes beach themselves. They are known, however, to follow a leader and gather around an injured or distressed whale.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.